Hello, hello, Leo. Welcome to your October 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Leo. And before we get started, a couple fun things that I want to mention. First of all, we are going to be doing a month of shadow on my podcast and Instagram. That's also why I have the black and white theme during this reading. And so if you're interested in any topics on shadow and things like that, go head over to my Instagram at Onyx Healing, and you can also check out the podcast. And it should be really, really fun and interesting, hopefully. And the other thing that I want to mention is I do have Psychic Defense open, so you are able to join that, which is my intuitive basics course. If you're interested in sharpening your intuition, learning how to develop that, you're welcome to check that out in the description box. And I can't wait to see you in there if you decide to join the class. So without further ado, I am going to lay this spread out for you, and then we will get started. Okay, let's start with your oracle cards this month. So first thing we have is beautiful. I see this as admiring what you have going on around you at this point in time. I see this as just being a time when you kind of want to sink into what is working. And really focusing your attention on what's going well, where you're seeing improvements, where you're seeing growth, where you're seeing progress. Admire the things that you have going on around you that are supporting you and making you feel good. You know, sometimes we do have to actively focus our attention on those things. And then we also have hold the excuses. So anytime, I kind of laugh when people are like, oh, it's on my list of things to do, or, oh, I don't have time. You know, those all fall into the category of excuses. I understand, like, they're legitimate in your experience, but the thing with excuses is it's a matter of priorities. So it's not actually about the external circumstances as much as it's about where you're putting your attention, where you're putting your priorities. Because if you want to get something done and it's your top priority, you're going to make it go to the top of the list. You're going to carve time out, space, resources out for the thing that you want. So every time you kind of get in your head about, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have this, I don't have that, is it really that you don't have those things, or is there something about your priorities that need to be rearranged in order for you to make that a reality? So just check in with yourself about that. We all do this. Okay, the central energy for you this month is the Seven of Vessels. So a lot of different places to put your energy or potential opportunities. There's a little bit of a chaotic energy coming up here. I think there's just a lot of stuff going on. Let me see what the crossing energy is. We have the King of Stones. Focus on grounding yourself and figuring out what it is that you want in order to feel stable, secure, and moving in the direction that you want to go. That's ultimately what the King of Stones is supporting you in doing. And the Seven of Vessels is kind of that watery, chaotic energy of, oh no, where do I put my efforts? Where do I put my energy? And the King of Stones is what's helping you focus on the long term. So when you go into, oh my God, there's so many things going on, where do you actually want to see things grow? What do you actually want to expand? And that's going to help you fine tune what to prioritize, where to put your efforts, and it's going to help reduce the experience of needing excuses, and instead just focusing on what can you build, what can you work with. That's ultimately what this is about. What you have shifting out is the Four of Arrows. So I see this as maybe a time that was going slower or having some fatigue. So maybe you've been feeling really burnt out and tired. and needing rest. It seems like there's some opportunities that are brewing that might be reinvigorating your energy and that can kind of stir things up a little bit more than where they were at before. So trust this process with the flow and everything that's happening here. And I just see that things are going to be picking up, but you're going to need to ground yourself in the process. If you don't keep your eye on the prize or what it is that you want, you might get lost in the weeds of all of the things that are coming to the surface. So I would say evaluate, check your priorities, check your focus, and that's going to help guide you. The oncoming energy is the Two of Branches. So this is like the energy of waiting for something to come in. Personally, I don't like the energy of waiting. I would rather have what I want right now. I'm going to clarify this one, but just know that it's about placing your order and then having things rearrange in order for it to materialize however that needs to happen in your specific conditions and circumstances. So we have the Three of Cups. Use your network, use the friends, connections, community that you have in order to access that next step or whatever it is that you need. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily in the people that are closest to you, while that can be the case sometimes. There also might be an element of you needing to build a network in some capacity or kind of follow the path of connections that you have. Like start with your warm connections and then start to branch out and expand. And that's how a whole bunch of doors are going to open. In your material world, we have the Four of Branches. So things are coming together. You're just going to have to be patient with the rearranging, right? So if you're like, gosh, why can't my money situation like work out? I think it is, but it's about things falling into place. That's kind of the natural process of how things are going for you. More is coming together than you realize. It's not just about one piece clicking into place. It really is about the timing of all of the things kind of syncing up. And so whatever you're pursuing in terms of the material world, and that's in the sense of all resources that you can imagine, money, home, whatever, this is showing you that things are panning out, but it's just that there's more than one facet that's kind of clicking in. So you might want to just trust that the dust is settling. Only focus your attention on what it is that you want to grow and expand and what is working. That way you're dumping more of your energy in the direction that you want it to go. So this can resolve faster, because this is a nice card to have in this position. I'm just seeing that if you have a frantic energy, which is kind of coming off of the Seven of Vessels, then it might interrupt the experience of that Four of Branches. Not that you're not having it, but it might make you feel like that's an illusion and your reality is chaos. Now, the connections and relationships in your space, we have the Ten of Branches, way too much going on. Too many people, too many connections, too many people that you may be trying to please or hang out with or get in touch with. It's kind of like use the connections that you have, but that doesn't mean that you want to be available to every single person every day, all the time, no matter what. Okay, you have to implement some type of boundaries in order to fix this. I mean, just look at how dense and chaotic that looks and feels. This could also be distracting you from a lot of the stuff that's coming together in the material. I see this as the Ten of Branches kind of, again, playing to the Seven of Vessels. It's like this is opportunity, but also an overflow. And then with the Ten of Branches and the connections, it's just way overstimulated. So the best thing that you can do this month is set boundaries with a lot of people who seem to be taking up too much energy, or any environments or circumstances that you find yourself walking into and just coming out of completely drained. You're going to have to cut that out. So however you're able to do that, for your circumstances, I would recommend getting on that, because this, once again, it's painting the picture of chaos, but that's not necessarily what's happening for you. So I don't think this is reality. This is just a way over cluttering socially and connection wise, or if you have a tendency to serve everybody around you, you need to be careful with that. Now, the growth for you this month is the Empress. Be willing to receive good things. That's why there's such an emphasis on focus on what's beautiful. Hold the excuses. Invert that so that you're able to get the things that you want. Rather than making excuses for why things aren't happening, reallocate your energy. It's kind of like a lot of the things going on are probably of your own making in some capacity, which is good, because that's going to open up a whole bunch of avenues for you to repair it. It's not just like, oh, there's nothing I can do, right? That's really disempowering. So this month is all about focus on what you want, like the Four of Branches and the opportunities that are coming into your space and all of the things that you're kind of setting yourself up to receive. But you also have to be willing to receive those things. It can't be something that you're dumping energy into everyone else and then you're wondering why your tank is empty and why you're not receiving the things you want. So just check in with yourself on that. The advice for you is the Maiden of Branches. I'm going to clarify this one. Four of Wands again. In your ideal, the message coming up with the Maiden of Branches is like, you've got it. You've got the energy to do it. You have what you need. You have the resources, so long as you're paying attention to that. So long as you're looking it dead in the face and collecting evidence for that. Because even in the most testing of times, there are pockets where you can call that up and conjure it within yourself. The Four of Wands is saying, what is your ideal situation? Hold space for that to unfold. Because that's all you can really do. But if you run around frantically, nothing's going to get done. It's just not. If you find yourself giving all of your energy away, if you're in this sense of chaos and you're not finding any stillness in your life, nothing's going to get done. It's just not. So in that sense, you have free will to do whatever it is that you can stay running that high intensity, just keep the candles burning at both ends. You let me know how that goes. Okay, so the first quarter of October, we're getting into the timeline now, is the Wanderer of Feathers. This is actually equivalent to Wands in this deck. And so I think exploring the energetic allocation is the deal with this. So your energy is going to create your reality in many ways. So you want to get that under control as much as you can so that dust can settle externally. Sometimes we just have different obstacles and barriers and things like that that we kind of have to work through, but this is just highlighting the power that you do have energetically and how that exploration this month will clear a lot of things up for you. Quarter 2, we have strength, personal power, autonomy. Again, where you put your energy, where you put your attention is what's going to blossom and flourish and grow. Where you put your efforts is the very thing that will build confidence. So if you're tapping into your personal will, or you're like, I really want to get this thing done, I really want to make this thing happen, and you lean into that and follow through, then you're going to find a whole bunch of confidence emerge from that space. So that's what I would recommend that you do, especially in this second quarter, is focus on what can I do? What advantages do I have right now? Where can I put my energy? And lean into that. Quarter 3, we have the Goddess of Feathers. So again, allowing your energy and your light to really shine, and just hold the energy and the space for the things that you want to attract and call into your space, and allow yourself to be seen fully. That's gonna serve you the absolute best this during this third quarter. Because it's like if you hide, if you're just buried under overwhelm and, you know, whatever your vice might be, people pleasing or busyness to the point where you're going unconscious, you're not really being mindful about what you're bringing into spaces or what energy you're bringing into your world and your life, you know, that's where things are going to get hairy, because you're going to have things reflected back to you that you don't intend, that are just kind of flying under the radar. So be really intentional with your energy this month. That's like the number one for you, is declutter all of the chaos, focus on what you do want and what is going well. And then wrapping up the month, we have the Prophet of Moons. Okay. But the thing that you're going to find by the end of the month is just how your emotions are playing a role in all of this. You're really going to be able to evaluate that. So if you are bringing like not bad energy, but like chaotic energy into everything, what gets reflected back to you? How do you feel about it? Do you want to repair it? Or is it something that's adding additional stress? Are there ways for you to shift that? Or is it something where you're inviting a whole bunch of aligned energy into your space, and then that's what you're bringing to the table, what gets reflected back to you? So the Prophet of Moons to me is just having you evaluate, what have I brought emotionally and what is reflecting back to me? And then evaluate at the end of the month. Because it's like, you guys know I push free will. Like, I can map out the energy for you. I can tell you what's going on. I can say, hey, this is what it looks like. But you are the decision maker. You're the one who's in the driver's seat. So you have all the power in this situation. Okay, let's do a 3-card pick. You're welcome to ask a question, ask for guidance, clarity, whatever it is that you need. And if you need more time, please pause the video. Card number 1, we have the High Priestess. Trust your gut, trust your intuition. Remember that fear is different from intuition, and so you're going to want to identify where's the neutrality in all of this, what does my gut have to say about it, and follow that. Really follow your compass and the internal guidance you're getting. Card number 2, we have the Hermit. You need to back off of like overexerting yourself. The only way that you're going to repair the thing that you want or need is to kind of retreat a little bit. And you're still kind of riding the wave of needing to rest. The solution seems to be pull back your energy so that you're able to be intentional with it. Otherwise, it seems like you're just going to be running on autopilot, and that's not ideal. Card number 3, we have the Ace of Swords. It seems like the inspiration or intuitive hit that you get is what you want to go with. So similar to the High Priestess, this is more about the idea. Like, what is the actual inspiration that's being downloaded? Trust that. Go with that. Move forward with that. And it's going to be a big help. So the Ace of Swords is just saying the idea that is on the table, or the idea that you get downloaded, is the solution. So trust your ideas rather than doing too much mental processing. Just trust the strike of inspiration and that idea to carry you forward. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate you more than you could possibly know. And don't forget, if you would like to work with me one-on-one, you know I'm always available to you. So you can go to onyxhealing.com to check out how to do that. Don't forget to take a look at the meditations that I have available. All of the proceeds go to some nonprofits that I've picked out. And if you'd like to take Psychic Defense, the link is in the description box. All of the decks that I've used today are in the description box. And I can't wait to see you on Instagram if you head over to Onyx Healing, and we'll be doing a month of shadow and all sorts of good stuff when it comes to that. So all of the links to everything I've mentioned, like the podcast and the meditations and Psychic Defense, everything is in the description box. And I will see you next time. Have a beautiful October, everybody. Bye-bye.